Okay, well, hi guys, I'm Brad Dalgell, and I'm here with Lieutenant Simmons. And yeah, actually, Lieutenant Simmons, we just wanted to ask you a few questions. Mainly, personal question of mine is, what influenced you to choose this occupation?
It wasn't something I always wanted to do. I really didn't get into this job till I was about 30 years old. I was in the military. I'd served a church mission. Didn't know what I wanted to do. When I knew I didn't want to do the military for the rest of my life. So, but a friend of mine in the military suggested at some point he might want to become a police officer after he gets out. I didn't think much of it, but once I got out of the military, I came back here to Utah State to go to school and finish up school there. Just happened to get a part-time job here at the police department as a records clerk, of all things. Weekends, I just go put records into the computer and then go to school during the week. And as I read the stories, the narratives that would come in, I just thought, man, I can do this. That's fun. It's a variety. It's not the same thing every day. One day you might be, writing traffic tickets. The next day you might be, arresting a drunk. The next day you might be fighting somebody. So there's always variety. So that's when I decided, yeah, I'm going to give this a try. And I've been doing it for 15 years now.
So, like, when you were in college, per se, was that when you made the decision to go into law enforcement? I mean, you said that you met your friend in the military, but while you were in college, was there any other influences that helped you choose this occupation?
College didn't really direct me to this at all. I mean, I did finish the bachelor's degree. I'm in a master's degree now up there. So college just kind of gives you a good background, and I think every police officer, ought to have a college background, because there is a breadth of knowledge that comes with college. It may not necessarily prepare you to become a police officer. Honestly, being a missionary trained me more to be a police officer than anything else, because I got to talk to people, how to converse with people, influence them to do what I wanted them to do, not fight me, not beat me up, stuff like that. So, but college certainly has been able to give me a breadth of knowledge that helps me interact with a lot of people, even more than before. So.
Okay. So, like, there are some students that I know of, me including, that are looking towards law enforcement field. But at the same time, we're kind of uncertain of what we want to do with our college time. Do you have like any advice for that for people like
Well, definitely get your degree, because more and more the police profession is becoming a profession, which means you have to have a degree. Many of our officers here do have at least 4-year degrees, and I'm going on to my master's degree right now. And in order to promote, you do this job for a certain number of years, you feel like, hey, maybe I could be a sergeant, maybe I could be a lieutenant, a captain, You want those new challenges, but in order to do that, more and more these days, you have to have a degree. It's part of the promotional process. So the best thing you can do, no matter what your field is to finish that degree. Get that 4-year degree, and then look into being a police officer. You start off, just miles ahead of people who become police officers who have never done that, and have an experience. You aren't from this area, I presume. Yeah, you're from another area. Yeah. That helps become a good police officer. Knowing other other cultures, that really helps out a lot. So any exposure you can get to other cultures is great.
I know. One last question is that I have. What do you love about your job?
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, it's something new every day. I love the fact that I don't do the same thing every day. I mean, there's some days I do. There's a lot of paperwork associated with police work. But if I don't want to do something today that's boring to me, I can go out and do something else. There's always something to do. I get to pick what I want to do. Now, certainly we have deadlines and we have things that we have to complete. Right now I'm a lieutenant, so I don't really go out on the road and work too much about writing tickets and stuff. Once in a while I do. But now I run projects. I get to run the cruise-in, security for the cruise-in here on July 5th or 6th or whatever day it is. So that's new for me. That's exciting to me. I get to do that. I get to make it whatever I want, So I love variety. I can't stand doing the same thing all the time.
Cool. Well, there you have it, class. Actually, I have one more question.
Sure.
What do you like? This is like sort of a stereotype for police officers. Of course, you're aware, you know, that they're unjust. They're not people per se. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think it is. And you look at the uniform, no matter what, and yeah, people see authority and they see punishment. But the fact of the matter is, policemen help a lot more people than they punish. And even when they're writing somebody a ticket, or even when they're taking somebody to jail, or arresting them for DUI, while it's terrible for the person getting it, you're actually helping a whole lot more other people by them not getting hurt in some way. So there is that stigma out there. But I will tell you this, in Utah, I will pit officers in Utah against any other group of officers in any other state. I think by and large, we certainly have our issues. We have bad officers, there's no doubt about it, but we have bad priests, bad bishops, we have bad car salesmen, we have, so they're in every profession. But we have, I think, for the most part, a very honest group of guys, especially in the city of Utah. I've met many of them. I've met officers from other states and other big cities, and frankly, I wouldn't give you 2 dimes for any of them, because there is that corruption that I can see. When the Olympics came in 2002, we had officers from New Orleans come up here. I hate to name the city, but wow, that was a whole different group of people that I really could not have worked with. So I hope people will realize that police are actually there more to help than they are to punish. I mean, that's certainly part of it. If you do something wrong, you gotta pay. You gotta take whatever punishment's coming. But I love the fact that I get to help people more than I get to. And I've arrested a lot of people, but that's how I look at it. I'm helping others. So. But we could do better as police officers by being more human. When we contact somebody in the road, we don't have to be robots. We can just be, hey, I'm Officer Simmons, just be personable. You can still do what I have to do, as an officer, but you can be kind and respectful to people always. And that's sometimes where officers get in trouble.
Yeah. Thank you, Lieutenant Simmons.
No, you're very welcome. Anytime, yes.